Hey, what's up? This is the Jared Dean Show. This is the Saturday edition. Yesterday I did a quick one. I said there wouldn't be a whole lot of news on Friday, but as the night went on, it turns out there was a lot of news. So today, a lot of sporting news. So today I do have a lot to cover in the sports world. Um, First of all, I'd like to start off with the Redskins. Congratulations to them. They traded multiple draft picks in this draft and in the future for the second pick from St. Louis. With that, they're probably, you never know, but 99.9% chance they're going to draft RG3, Robert Griffin III. Um, I'm stoked. I'm not really a Redskins fan, but since Joe Theismann broke his leg, like their quarterbacks have been awful. I mean, anytime when you have Rex Grossman on your roster as an option to start, then nah, that's not good. Uh, but yeah, I don't want to ramble on, but I know I'm gonna hear. Well, Rex Grossman went to a Super Bowl, but Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl, and he said it the best. As when he played for Baltimore, he wasn't going out there to win them games. He was going out there just not to lose them the game. And that's similar how it was with Rex Grossman with the Bears, how good their defense was, their special teams, uh, that whole bit. The second thing, while we're on the topic of the NFL, the Saints bounty scheme. I really haven't mentioned this yet, and it's kind of important. I don't get what the big deal about this is. Like, these guys are multi-millionaires, and they're getting offered like $1,000 to take somebody out. That's crazy. Why would they like? Are they that stupid? Like, they don't know how much they make. They think $1,000 is a lot of money. But even if it is, what's so bad? It's the same with if your boss came to you and told you, "I will give you this much money under the table if you do your job well," because that's the NFL. As a defensive player, you're paid because of your hard hits. Um, Now, I'm not saying illegal and dirty hits, but and Brett Favre came out and said, well, that game was strange. There was a lot of, I was getting whacked every play, but it's easy to look back and think, well, now that you said that, yeah, it was kind of, but, he didn't say anything about it until this whole thing came out, so I think Brett Favre's full of crap. But, um, that leaves me with the question of the day. What's worse, the bounty, the Saints bounty, or the Patriots Spygate? I would say definitely the Patriots Spygate. They cheated. Like, they were cheating, giving themselves an unfair advantage, cheating. And the NFL just, like, slapped them on the wrist, fined them, that was it. But now everyone's saying that they should come down hard on the Saints, but they didn't come down hard on the Patriots for cheating and winning Super Bowls while cheating. But they want to come down hard on the Saints for giving their players incentives to play well and hit hard. So, you be the judge. I mean, some people might disagree that the Saints thing's worse. Patriots fans probably will. But cheating, that's terrible. And just because the NFL loves the Brady and Belichick, they're not gonna. They barely even got punished. But hey, karma. They haven't won a Super Bowl since. Um, Next thing I want to talk about, still in the NFL, is the Colts. I don't know what exactly their plan is. They released Dallas Clark, Brackett. Uh, they released those two for sure. Joseph Adai they released, and according to Adam Schefter from ESPN, next on the list to go would be Dwight Freeney, which is Like, what are they doing? I don't understand. George Hill, a Pacers guard, said it the best. He said, "What is wrong with the Colts? You have one bad season, you blow up the whole roster." Hashtag upset Colts fan, or something along those lines. Uh, but like the only one I could see out of there was Brackett because he only played one game last year with an injury, and obviously whoever his sub was didn't do too well because of their defense. But uh, they were the worst team in the NFL. But still, Dallas Clark, I mean, I don't know how old he is, but he was drafted in '03, so he can't be that old. And he was still very productive last year. But how can you expect him to put up huge numbers when he doesn't have a quarterback to throw it to him? Speaking of which, the Colts also released Curtis Painter. No! Not Curtis Painter! They released Curtis Painter along with all those other players, which I don't understand what they're going for exactly. I get it, you want to rebuild, but holy mackerel. Like, and it's almost a good thing, I think, for Dallas Clark because he could go with Peyton wherever he goes if the team has the room for him. If Peyton went to Miami, Dwight could go there. I mean, Dallas Clark could go there with him. That would be a good fit for it. Because, think of Peyton throwing into Dallas Clark and Brandon Marshall on the same field. But, yeah, that's pretty much the Colts talk for today. The next thing is still Peyton Manning. He's not a Colt anymore, but I guess you could still call it Colts talk. I don't know. But he's been visiting with the Broncos, and I guess he spent most of his time with John Elway and Coach John Fox, just getting, a look at the facilities and everything else. Now, according to ESPN, this doesn't boost his chances of going Denver over anywhere else, and actually, Adam Schefter reports that even though the Redskins are now going to draft RG3, they're not out of the running for Peyton Manning, which is kind of strange. I don't think he'll go to Washington. But for you Dolphins fans, don't be discouraged. As you know, he played in Miami in the Super Bowl, and so he used when you're there, he used all of the practice facilities. He saw all the facilities there, everything for Miami. So he already knows what Miami has for him down south. But we'll see where he goes. I still hope Miami because, like I said, Brandon Marshall, that just sounds great. Dallas Clark. But the next thing I'd like to talk about is the Josh Smith demanding a trade. Josh Smith demanded a trade yesterday for the Atlanta Hawks. For those of you who don't know, he's a great power forward. Wasn't an All-Star this year, but should have been. And he's demanding a trade from the Hawks, who are a playoff team, and they've been struggling as of late, but Joe Johnson's been out and Al Horford's been out, so there are some injuries. But I'll tell you this much. I don't understand what Josh Smith is thinking. He has this weird fetish with shooting jump shots when he shoots a terrible percentage from around the perimeter jump shots, but he still shoots them all the time, and he's one of the best dunkers in the league. They call Atlanta the highlight factory, mostly in part because of Josh Smith. But yeah, he demanded a trade, and what is going on with players nowadays? I can see it's just weird because everyone's demanding trade. I want to play somewhere else. I'm not happy here. I want to leave. Which I don't understand. How can you be unhappy? Even if you have the worst day of your life in the NBA, outside of, deaths in the family or something like that, you're still in the NBA. It's still a great day. And this team's a playoff team. Atlanta's a playoff team. They've been plagued with injuries. But yeah, potential teams for him to go to would be Los Angeles Lakers are on there. Um, Honestly, I don't think he's worth Pau Gasol. Yeah, he's younger, but he's not really. Pau Gasol's a great fit with the Lakers, with the Twin Towers, and I don't see Josh Smith really fitting in as well. The Magic are also on the list of possible teams. I don't know who they would trade for him because Atlanta has their point guard of the future. Maybe Ryan Anderson, I'm not sure. But it's he's definitely on the list because they're trying to make Dwight Howard happy, give him a reason to stay. So that would they definitely wouldn't be able to acquire both, but just imagine having Josh Smith, Dwight Howard, and Monte Ellis on the Magic. Like that's a great team. They won't be able to do it, but just think about it. Um, but back to like players, yeah, what happened to the players who would play their whole careers on one team? Or at least the majority, because then, like, when you're washed up and you're not going to help your team win championships anymore, you just want to keep playing because of it, then, okay, that's different. But, like, Kobe Bryant's been with the Lakers his whole career. And then you have, like, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Paul Pierce, players like that. They're so loyal. In this generation, you have Derrick Rose, who's sticking it out with the Bulls, Kevin Durant. I don't know, like, they're still young, so obviously they could leave, but we'll see. Why does everybody want to leave their teams? And the funniest to me is Carmelo. He left the Nuggets for the Knicks, and now the Knicks are, struggling, and the Nuggets are a great team. Like the Knicks are 2-6 since he returned. Is that a coincidence? I think not. Maybe it is. I don't know. But we'll see what happens with the Carmelo situation in New York. But I don't get why everyone wants to leave. And it goes to show that it's more so it doesn't matter how good your team is. Like players will just want to leave just because. Like LeBron, Cleveland's had the best record in the league so many times when he was there. Even his last year there, they had the best record in the league. And I know LeBron just wants to win championships, but he had a great team. He had a great team in Cleveland, and he just left them for Miami. Obviously, the team in Miami is better, but we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, as far as players sticking out with their teams, Michael Jordan's also on that list. He went to the Wizards as not a player, but as an executive, and they asked him to play, so he said, "What the heck." But Kobe Bryant, I know he did demand the trade back in the day, but that's different because if the team's rebuilding, and the Lakers, after they lost Shaq, they were kind of in this lull of they're trying to rebuild, but they're trying, they still want to be competitive, but they weren't being really competitive. They were getting bounced out of the playoffs left and right. But if a team's rebuilding, then okay, I don't want to be here if you're rebuilding. I want to win championships. Then trade me for some good pieces for you to rebuild. And the Lakers, they decided, hey, we don't want to rebuild. Let's get this done. Brought in Pau Gasol, and 2 championships later, Kobe's sitting pretty happy. But like the Hawks aren't rebuilding. They have a good team. They've been to the playoffs like the past 4 years, past 5 years, something like that. And the Magic are also not rebuilding. Obviously, the Magic is lacking in talent outside of Dwight Howard. But, we'll see. Let's see who they can bring in and try to fix that. And, like, Derrick Rose, I'm not a Bulls fan, and I don't like Derrick Rose. I'll just be straight up with you. I don't like him. But I will tell you, he is such a class act, and the fact that the Bulls